Welcome back, guys, to another video, and today we actually have a project to do. We're building a paludarium. For those of you who don't know what paludariums are, it's basically just an enclosure that houses both plants and has an aquatic feature to it. So it's got a little area of water and some land to it to grow plants. Right now, all the tank really has inside of it is an area for the rocks to build up, which is basically just my drainage layer. I put some mesh in it too, so the water could get into the opening, and that was my biggest problem in the first place. So we're gonna fix that.
Check this out. This is a tank that I built about a year ago with the intentions of it being like a type of paludarium, but it ended up kind of failing. It was leaking water everywhere, and I kind of just built it wrong. So I decided to turn it into something new. So I was originally planning on using this like sheet foam, I think it's called like polypromethylene or something like that, to kind of put on the outside of the drainage layer into the water, but it kind of just looked trashy. So I ended up going to the store and getting some expanding foam and some silicone sealant. I was kind of just looking at this and I was like, this is gonna work, it's trashy. So we're just gonna use this expanding foam right here. I've used this stuff before, it works absolutely great. We're gonna open this thing up, we're gonna put on the little valve, and we're gonna see how this stuff works. I think she's good to go. All right, we're gonna test this a little bit. Right over here. Okay, so I'm only gonna put a little bit of this because I have used this stuff before, and I will tell you, this stuff freaking expands. I gotta be pretty careful with how much foam I put down because it could expand and hit the glass. In certain areas, I'm adding extra foam so I can cut it out later to look a little bit more like rocks. Alright, so after a couple hours, we're back and it is dried and it is solidified and it's looking pretty solid. So here I just have a little razor blade and I'm just going to take this, kind of just go through it and cut it in shapes of rocks to look a little bit more natural. I'm basically just cutting it the best I can so there's no rounded areas. I also just so happened to find this little leg of spider wood that actually fit pretty nicely into the foam and into the substrate area, so I decided to put it there and it looks pretty cool, so I'm gonna leave it. Okay, and here we have this stuff. This is some Flex Seal spray. It's basically just spray rubber. I've used it once and it worked pretty okay with the color. It's just kind of hard to manage. It kind of just gets everywhere, but we sent it anyway.
So for some reason, this is the part of the video where my camera decided to stop recording and I didn't get any of the footage. Basically, all I did was add a bunch of this stuff, which is basically just terrarium moss. It's just some regular sphagnum moss. I threw it in there and anyways, guys, yeah, it's nothing too special. It's just some sphagnum moss. I kind of just layered it in on top. Under the sphagnum moss, I just put some repti soil and some cocoa fiber, and basically all that's going to do is help with plant growth and kind of just help keep everything pretty wet. So this moss on top should stay nice and damp. Since I didn't have any of that footage recorded, I'm just going to skip to the part where I had all the substrates inside the tank and I started filling it with water.
I don't know.
I'm unsure.
Alright, so here we have it after adding some water, and it's looking pretty good. The moss is looking pretty damp, and the water is looking pretty clear. So next, I added this simple LED strip just to light things up in here, and it already looks way better just with the light. So next, we're just going to filter the water through to make it compatible for fish. I'm just using this basic sponge filter that I'm going to let run for about an hour to get out any debris that might be in the water. And after letting that water run for about an hour, the mini paludarium is just about complete. Along with filtering the water, I also installed some small aquatic plants and some duckweed. I also threw in this small water pump just to allow some water surface movement.
Sweet. And that wraps up today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys want to see a part 2 where I fully plant the tank and add inhabitants, make sure you stay tuned for future videos. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.